Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Tactical Advisor Podcast. Sterling here, your tactical advisor. I'm here today with Mike Fowler.
Hey, guys.
Old friend. Crazy story to tell you, but we're talking about what I call full circling and reinventing yourself and finding purpose in your second career. So there's a lot we have in common, Mike and I, or I'm going to call you Fowler.
Please.
Throw it back to high school days. And before we get into this, though, before we get about where you were, what's happened on, we got to talk about how we ended up together.
Okay.
All right. So September-ish last year.
Yeah.
Hilton Head. Paul did the Fall Classic he does every year. Day one, my very first one, because I'm relatively new here. Definitely new to the scene. So I'm sitting there, and it's a rather large conference room, right? Banquet room hall in the hotel there. And I look over in the far corner, I see a dapper, good-looking man, great hair, tattoos, sitting off there. And just something in the back of my mind went, that seems very familiar. And then, of course, we took a break through the hallway, and I come in. Here you come. And you walk up to me, and you go, "How you doing, Mike?" And I look at you just like this and go, "Fowler?"
I remember it. It's
All
hilarious.
Right. So how do we know each other?
So we've known each other, how many years is this now? Golly, it's probably getting close to 40 years.
Right.
Like high 30s years. We grew up in the same neighborhood.
My grandmother lived on your street.
Yeah.
On Benfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even before that on Kirby and Dogwood.
Oh my God.
Like back.
Well, I would walk. So I would walk from my house on Dogwood through Sternberger. There was a Presbyterian church on the corner of Holden and Friendly.
Yep.
I'd go cut through there because I wasn't allowed to go to the main roads.
Yep.
And
Same.
Cut through across Holden into my grandmother's house. And then when I go visit my grandmother, I go down to see you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we come way back.
Way back.
All right. So how weird is it that at the Fall Classic, I see you there. And then when you were like,
but there was a gap there.
A large gap.
Like, so it was way back for a long period. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, kind of formative years growing up, elementary years, we were running around, riding bikes, playing everything, kind of same neighborhood, just like you do as kids in the 80s. And then kind of went away for a little while and then just bumped into each other in the most random way possible.
Yeah. So I left after 8th grade, came back my senior year. I think we rubbed elbows a little bit, circle of friends, but we were different because, 3 years in high school is like an eternity. But then, I would join the military. What did you end up doing?
So from Greensboro, went to App State and then came back to Greensboro and connected with this marketing firm and basically spent a lot of my young adult life learning sales and marketing.
Okay.
So worked for the same firm twice. I was kind of a boomerang there. I had a first tenure, got hired away, went and sold for a manufacturer for a little while, and then got hired back.
So you kind of got into sales-ish kind of thing?
Sales and marketing.
So guess what field in the military I fell into and was really good at?
Yeah.
Recruiting, which people call it the military sales force, right?
Yeah.
So there's something else. So walk us through that first career and what eventually led you to make the change to financial advisor here at Insight Folios?
Yeah. So the first career was, 20 plus years of sales and marketing. And I got into it early on, basically right out of undergrad, started in the proverbial mail room, but quickly worked my way up to where I was putting together presentations for people that are buying billions of dollars worth of goods for these large big box retailers. And so I was having
Lowe's, Home Depot,
Walmart, Costco. Now it's Amazon, but it wasn't back then, because this is, I'm going to age myself a little bit. Amazon wasn't really a thing.
Gray going on.
Yeah, but I was selling to these big retailers and on behalf of manufacturers. And so we were doing tons of consumer research, understanding how people make decisions about what they purchase. Why'd you buy that watch? Why'd I buy this watch? Why do you have camo shoes and mine are very loud? Like all these things. Like how do people make decisions? And so I was helping manufacturers sell and tell their story to these retailers and then helping them navigate that channel because it's crazy. It's like a whole different world of communication within these big box retailers. And so it was really just helping people walk through big moments in their life. So these manufacturers, if they sell into a big box retailer and they've never been there before, that could represent 30, 40% of their overall business. So these are big moments, big meetings. And I was doing this at a relatively young age in my 20s, and I'm sitting in front of somebody that's buying billions of dollars worth of goods on behalf of a Home Depot or a Lowe's. I didn't have like teams of people around me and stuff like that. And I was just like, this is so cool and so fun. And I was learning a ton. So I kind of got like, wouldn't say golden handcuffs, but like really cool experience handcuffs.
Gotcha.
And I just stayed in it. And I stayed in it for a long time. And then I got hired away by a manufacturer to do basically the same thing. It was a guy that I knew from undergrad. He was like, hey, can you come do this for my company? I was like, yeah, sure. That seems like fun. So I went and tried that challenge and had a lot of success doing that as well, just in a different role. And then kind of went back and did more sales and marketing stuff with the same firm I started with. So it's kind of bouncing all around, but in the same channel, basically.
So the whole time you're doing that, I'm making a career out of the military, mostly in recruiting.
Yeah.
A few other little side gigs in fun and exotic places around the world. But eventually I did it for 20 years and I retired, right? You did your career for about 20 years, and for me, it was a time for a change. It was a time for a change for you. So what brought you to financial advising? Why did you want to be a financial advisor? What drew you to this profession?
I didn't know that I wanted to be a financial advisor. I didn't leave that career and start this one like this is what I've always dreamed of.
Yeah, because in fact, you were at Hilton Head just kind of like dipping your toe in the water, right?
Yeah,
you were just kind of
I hadn't made the decision yet.
Process.
Yeah, exactly right. So, towards the end of that first career, I just kind of had this nagging feeling of like, man, this is not what I'm like meant to be doing. This is not what God's calling me to be doing. And so I was good at it. I enjoyed it. I liked the people that I worked with and for. It wasn't bad,
sure,
but it just wasn't like, man, this is really getting me excited. And so I knew going into what I was going to do next, my wife, Leah, and I prayed about it a ton. And we were just like, we want to be able for me to step into something God's calling me to. And that was like the criteria. So we had no idea what that looked like. We had kind of built a little bit of runway. We weren't sure if it was going to be ministry work. We weren't going to sure if it was back into another marketing position. It was going to be a nonprofit. We were just talking about adventure stuff and being outdoors. I've got a big passion for that as well.
Okay.
I've got kind of a little side deal around that. So I wasn't sure if that was going to be formed up into something bigger and that was going to be my calling. And so I just started meeting and having lunch and coffee with everybody that would sit down and hang out with me. I was reconnecting with old friends. I would have done you if I'd known you were in Charlotte.
Yeah, I know. How long have you been here? Because I've been here about 8 years.
Same. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And so, I'm just making all these connections. I'm meeting with everybody. In the process of that, I started vetting an organization called C12, which Paul, who is the owner of the firm that we work for, is a member of.
Heard of them? Yep.
Yeah. And so in the process of vetting, do I want to be a C12 chair? Another friend of mine said, you should meet a guy named Paul Durso. He's been a member of C12 for 13, 14 years. He'll give you the good, bad, and the ugly of it. And
so why financial advising then? What sealed the deal?
Well, that was it. So I sat down with Paul, and what he has built here is exactly what I wanted to do, which was help people, care for them, love on them. It played to some of my strengths, which was just being able to sit down and listen to people, meet them where they are, understand kind of what are their challenges, what are the big things that they're thinking about, what are their aspirations, and then kind of helping them problem solve on how do we get there? Like, we're here, point A, that's where you want to be, point B down there. So how do we get from here to there? And so the job just fit with like what I felt like, man, this is what God's calling me to do. And it allows me to just love on people and meet people where they are day to day. And it's just like stepping into it has been, you probably feel the same way. It's like, oh, wow, this doesn't feel like a job. It just feels like something so great that I just get to do.
We had a phrase in the military when you were doing something new. It was called drinking from a fire hydrant.
Yeah.
I've heard that phrase.
Yes.
Which this kind of feels like little bit, but
sure.
There's so many things we know from so now we're a little older and wiser. We could reach back into our toolboxes and take things into this career. What are some of the things from your toolbox would you carry into this career?
I think just listening first. One thing that I learned early on in my last career, which was I don't like to sell things.
Okay.
I'm not a salesperson.
Right.
I like to problem solve quite a bit, but to understand to be able to problem solve, you got to understand people's problems on a core
sales
level.
Is a 4-letter word, right?
Yeah. You got to understand what they need on a core level. So just listening first and being able to hear like, okay, these are the real challenges that either a prospect or a client or somebody's facing, and then helping them walk through like different solutions. So we're just presenting, all right, well, here's some options. What fits best for you?
Okay. So what would be a good definition of what a good financial advisor is to you?
I think somebody that really genuinely loves on their people and is not selling. For me, being a financial advisor, and I was talking to a client this morning, and I was like, one of the things that, and this is a good friend, so I'm talking to him. I've known him since high school.
Do I know him?
Probably. And I'm saying, hey man, like what I want to build this business on is doing the right thing by my clients, no matter what the dollars involved are, whether they're really small dollars or really big dollars. So doing the right thing by them, not for me. Like I'm, as a fiduciary, their best interests are my best interests, right? Like that's first. So that is really important for me, like doing what's right for them, not to sell anything, right? And even if that means like, hey, you're best doing something over here, or
it's heavy stuff that we're dealing with, right?
Yeah.
So like I come from the world of career, life-changing decisions by helping guide a young person and their family.
Yeah.
Through joining the military and possibly putting their loved one in harm's way. That's not an easy decision to make. Your financial future, whether you're starting out or you're going into retirement, how you navigate those waters is not an easy decision to make. There's a lot of subliminal and smaller decisions underneath the bigger decisions you have to make.
Yeah.
So it's heavy-handed stuff. I mean, some people take it a little lightly, but I take it pretty seriously, and I think you do too.
Yeah, and so that is exactly what you just said. This is life-changing for these people, and so I take it pretty seriously. I take things personally. Like I really want to care about and love on the people that I'm working with.
Okay, so what motivates you today?
For me, it kind of getting up in the morning. I'm trying to get on my knees about like, God, what are you calling me to do today?
Mm-hmm. Which is funny.
And how do I serve my family well?
My notes here, the next one is the same sticker that out of those 4 from the Fall Classic, which was what, financial freedom, freedom of purpose, freedom of time,
choice.
You have purpose written, you stuck to your computer. In fact, I copied you and put it on my computer too. Because it meant a lot when I saw it. I was like, I was going to do that. And then of course, it's right next to my daughter's taco sticker that she stuck on my computer.
Hey, those are important things. Purpose and tacos, sometimes they align.
Hey, family, right? My daughter got to add a sticker to my computer. That's a big deal for a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
So family, purpose, what else? What else motivates you?
I've kind of always liked a challenge. Like you said, we're drinking from the hydrant because we're new. We got a lot of stuff to learn. I'm finding learning really fun. I think I always have. I love learning about things that I'm really interested in.
Okay.
I came home from like kindergarten on day 1 and I was like, yeah, that's not for me. My mom was like, yeah, you got a little while left to go, man. Sometimes I was like, I just don't like learning about things that are being forced down my throat, but things I'm really interested in, man, I can just talk your ear off about things that I love. And so I'm loving the challenge of how much we have to learn. We've got an incredible team around us here. And so I feel very blessed to be able to just ask and try to gain as much knowledge from them as possible.
A friend of mine once told me, be a sponge.
Yeah, be a sponge. All
right, question for you. Someone listening now feels stuck in their life or career right now. What advice would you give them transitioning like you just did and we're doing right now? What advice would you give them if they're going through a large transition like we just did?
I would say like there were 2 prayers that I had in that big transition, which was, God, give me peace through the power of the Holy Spirit if I'm going to have peace in this transition.
Okay.
Because I was anxious, it's big decisions. Like you're making a big career move. So you got bills, you got health insurance, you got all these things that you got to worry about. So peace I knew was not going to be through my own flesh. And then the second one was like closed doors that you don't want me to walk through. So like if that's not the right calling for me and that's not where I'm supposed to be, don't walk through that door, and understand that those closed doors might be protection for you.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Like I was kind of looking at new things, thinking marketing and sales and stuff. nothing was materializing there.
And it's
And I was getting
frustrating in the moment. Yeah.
I was like, and my wife was like, "You're praying for that, dummy.
Yeah.
You're praying for those doors to be closed. Like, why aren't you grateful that
That happened to me today, actually. A door closed and I got frustrated for a minute and then I realized it's all in the plan.
Yeah, so it even transition no matter where you are in life. Like, hey, those closed doors are oftentimes protection
Kind of like
for us,
rails.
and we have no idea that it's happening. So maybe just some perspective on that. Like, take a step back.
All right, some rapid fire questions.
Oh boy!
All right. Biggest lesson from your first career?
Listening so that you can understand what your audience needs.
Okay. Best financial habit everyone should learn?
Pay yourself first. So if you're getting a raise or something's happening big in your life, plan for the future. Put some money in savings, like save, pay yourself and your future self before your lifestyle changes.
Save first, spend later.
Yeah, exactly. Don't change your lifestyle first and then try to go back and...
Name one mistake that young professionals generally make.
I think young professionals, especially today, don't embrace the hard stuff. They think it should be easy and smooth and exactly like they picture their life and their career, but you learn so much from the hard stuff, and you can't learn from things if it's just easy all the time. So embrace the suck. Right?
Okay, embrace the suck. That's a military thing.
I knew it wasn't. So
okay, and then coffee or any energy drinks?
Oh, coffee.
Coffee. Hands down.
Yeah,
I agree.
easy.
This is a tough one. Favorite book? You can't say the Bible.
Okay.
Because I know you're going to say the Bible.
I think recently the favorite book would be Comfort Crisis by Michael Easter. And it's kind of in that theme of embrace the hard stuff.
Okay.
Because there's a lot to be learned there. And embracing boredom. Like, I think as a culture, we have no boredom in our lives anymore. And that's where a lot of creative thinking comes from. So.
Okay. Biggest motivator today?
Yeah, God and family.
God and family.
Yeah,
and then what defines success now versus what you defined success 10 years ago?
That's a great question. I think I am finding the most like peace and freedom in knowing that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And it used to be worldly success. That's, dollars, big wins, those kinds of things.
Cars.
Yeah,
houses,
all that kind of stuff. And now it's like, I'm sleeping super good nowadays because I know like this is where I'm supposed to be and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing it. And I'm doing it like the right way. What I think is like morally above reproach. And so that's, for me,
sounds like
that's
peace of mind.
That's a win.
Yep,
because awesome. I'm sleeping great and it doesn't really matter what the dollars, they'll come if they come, if that's what God's will is. So
it's a good place to be. Give us a like and subscribe if you don't mind.
Yeah. Let's like and subscribe. Tactical Advisor. Had a fun one today, Sterling.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. All right. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.